Yeah. What y'all got going, man? Snax on Sports. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see me. You feel me? Back at it. Just some random topics I want to get into real quick this morning regarding the NBA playoffs so far. You know what I mean? Regarding, everything that it went down so far in round one of the playoffs. We got some good matchups, some interesting matchups. I probably ain't going to talk about every series. It's just a few things I was, been hearing this morning and, a few things to make comments about. You know what I mean? Celtics and Nets played last night. You know what I mean? That series is getting turned up. Celtics defense look, oh my gosh. You feel me? My team, Warriors versus Nuggets. We played tonight. Grizzlies, Timberwolves, another series I'm interested in. You know what I mean? We got some new shit going on now with the Suns and the Pelicans. Now that Devin Booker, got a little nagging little hamstring injury, so that's going to change up some shit. They probably should still have enough to beat the Pelicans, but hey, you never know. We'll see. You know what I mean? Giannis over there with the Bulls and against the Bucks. You know what I mean? They look like they kind of lollygagging a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like they the defending champions, but they ain't really been super dominant this year. You know what I mean? They've been good when they needed to. They've had a good season, but you know what I mean? Like the Bucks kind of look like I heard Chris Broussard say this morning, they either content or kind of like, hey, we got our little championship, we good now. It's either that or, you feel me, they just not as good this year as they was last year. They still good, but yeah. And then who else over there? Miami looking strong. Atlanta ain't no match for them. Who else? What else we got? So we got some shit going on. But I want to talk about the Celtics. Well, first, before I go to the Celtics and the Nets, I want to say this real quick about the Warriors. Now, you bitch niggas jumped off the motherfucking bandwagon, halfway through the season once we start, having some injuries and our level of play went down a little bit because of it and stuff like that. All good. I ain't tripping. Jump off the motherfucking bandwagon. You know what I mean? I ain't worried about that. But I seen something this morning. Now, I should say, before I say that this person said this, before I say Stephen A. said this, it was just a quote from a YouTube title that I seen this morning. And a lot of times in YouTube titles, they just be clickbait. So I didn't actually click on it to see if Stephen A. said what the YouTube video title, you know what I mean, of this one particular YouTube video said that Stephen A. said. But I'm still going to address it because the quote, you know what I mean, the narrative is starting to be a narrative that people are coming around to now all of a sudden. And that's the reason why I said the Warriors and y'all jumped off the bandwagon, because I seen something this morning that said that Stephen A. said that now the Warriors are back to being the favorite now to win the NBA championship since Devin Booker has went down with his injury. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I'm sorry. We've been the motherfucking favorite before Devin Booker injury, if you ask me. Now, it was a few times towards the back end of the season, like our last 30, 25 to 30 games or so, we didn't play as well as we played our first 30 to 35 games or so. We just didn't. Injury had a lot to do with it. We started off came out like gangbusters in this season. People forget the first 20, 25 games of the season, it was us and the Suns neck and neck. You know what I mean? To see as far as who's gonna have the best record in the league, it was us and the Suns neck and neck to see who's gonna have the best record in the league, who's the best team, and then the Suns kind of took off a little bit, and then at one point, they was, we was neck and neck, and at one point they got about 2 or 3, 4 games ahead of us in the standings. And then, that's around the time when Clay came back. People want to say, oh, well, when Clay came back, that's when, to me, it's not when Clay came back. Because y'all got to remember, when Clay came back, okay, when Clay came back, the game he came back is the game where Draymond got injured. So you insert one of the big 3 from the Warriors and you take out another one, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, because we all know what Klay Thompson means to this Warriors franchise, this dynasty, and our championship runs and all that. He means a lot, okay? And most likely, will we be able to win a championship without him? Out of respect for Clay, I'm going to say no, but deep down, I probably feel like we could, and this is why. Because, like I said, Clay is a very important piece to what we do. You know what I mean? Over here, you know what I mean? Golden State with the Warriors, right? But out of Steph, Clay, and Dre, he's the third least most important. He just is, because Steph and Draymond are the 2 parts that when they're not there, it affects the rest of the team. Like you feel it, because now Steph is the most important. It's not even a question. But Draymond is the second most important player for us to be able to, for the team to be able to function how they are functioning now. In these first 2 games of the playoffs in their series against the Nuggets. Draymond is the second most important because of what he brings defensively, his intensity, all of the cliche shit. He's the heart of the team, and he's the spiritual, emotional leader and all that shit. It's cliche, but it's true. Okay, that's the reason why we were able to get out to the type of start that we did without Clay, is because Steph and Dre are the 2 most key important components to what we do. You know what I'm saying? So when Clay came back, the game Clay came back is a game that Draymond got hurt. So, so then, okay, yeah, we get Clay back and we won that first game, with him being back. But like I said, with Draymond not being there, that's going to affect the defense. It's going to have some effect on Steph. He's still going to be able to get his, obviously, but we can all see Steph, him and Draymond, they just got some type of different rapport that when Steph is out there, when Draymond is out there with Steph, he go from being like one of the greatest players in the league to like the best player in the league and shit, because Draymond just know how to set him up. Like, for example, when Draymond came back, okay, when he finally came back after being out for 30 games, okay, this was like 13, 14 games left in the season. When he finally came back, so now we had the big 3 there. We only had 1.5 games where they played together, because that next game after Draymond came back, Steph got hurt. And it was 12 games left in the season, and he just stayed out for the rest of the season, and just to get healthy, recuperate, and recover, and all that. But the one game that they played together before Steph got hurt, Steph had 47 points. He should have had 50. I forget who they was playing, but whoever they was playing, they blew him out. Steph had 47, should have had 50. He missed 2 threes at the, down the stretch he missed 1 3 where that could have gave him 50 points. And then there was another possession after that where he was still on the court and Klay Thompson got the ball and shot it and bricked and shit. Like, bro, this man getting ready to come out the game. Klay, my nigga, we all know this. But this nigga, Steph, is getting ready to come out the game. He got 47 points. We blowing out whoever the fuck we playing, and it's only like 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. Steve Kerr finna pull this nigga. Only reason why he's still in is because he know the nigga trying to get 50. Pass this nigga the ball, get this nigga opportunity to score 50. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, so Steph scored 47 points the game that Draymond came back. Not only did he score 47 points, Draymond and Steph were on the court together for 16 minutes out of that game, out of that 48-minute game. They were on the court together for 16 minutes. Obviously, Draymond played more than 16 minutes and Steph played more than 16 minutes, but they were only on the court together for 16 minutes in that game. In those 16 minutes, Steph scored 41 points. He scored 41 of his 47 points in 16 minutes while being on the court with Draymond Green. Like, that shit is just... Like, bro, to think about, that's like, damn. And then when you watch the game, because Draymond didn't start when he came back. He didn't start for like the first 2 or 3 games, kind of like what Steph is doing right now. Bro, as soon as Draymond Green came into the game, bro, I'm talking about as soon as he came in the motherfucking game, Steph did what he do. He running the floor. He came around the baseline from 2 or 3 screens. Draymond waited. Y'all know how he do. He wait. He know he coming around. Waited. Steph wasn't even like super open, but he was open enough for him. Waited for him to come around. Threw him the ball. Steph shot it. 3. Like, that was Draymond's first pass. He came in the game, whatever, the ball swung around to Draymond. He waited for Steph to, do what he do and come around the baseline and run off all them screens. And then as soon as he got a little bit of daylight, threw it to him. Steph shot it up there and one of them quick 3-pointer, because you got to shoot it quick because them niggas is coming. Shot that shit quick. That shit hit nothing but the bottom of the motherfucking net. I said, damn. So that just shows you the rapport that, that they have together. Like, this is 10 years they've been, all 3 of these motherfuckers been playing together now. Ain't no other 3 players in the league right now that have played, 3 teammates that have played together for 10 years or more. We the only ones got that. You know what I mean? So, and I say that and that brings me back to my original point, what I was saying. We've been a motherfucking favorite. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why, so, and like I said, yeah, I was frustrated and upset, in how, why this motherfucker keeps circling around a fucking block, bro. Oh, okay. Student driver. They teaching them how to drive. I was frustrated and disappointed, you know what I mean, at certain parts of the season, when these motherfuckers was, when they was playing bad. You know what I mean? Because some of the games, even though, either, Steph was out or Draymond was out and Klay, like, some of them games, it wasn't about the fact that Steph or Dre was out. You know what I mean? They just wasn't playing well. You know what I mean? They a few of these games this year towards the end of the season, You know what I mean? The second half of the season, they was resembling that team from 2020. You know, the year after KD left, and the year, the pandemic year, when we went 15-50. You know what I mean? The season got cut short and was a pause, and then they went to the bubble and all that shit. Yeah, that year. The year that Clay was out the whole year. The year that Steph Curry broke his wrist, broke his hand, the third or fourth game of the season, and basically was out the rest of the season. Yeah, they was resembling that motherfucking team. So that's where I was like, bro, what the fuck going on? What the fuck y'all niggas doing? So I did a few videos where I was saying how, the Warriors suck right now and this and that and blah, 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 blah. I just, it's just me as a fan just being emotional. I always knew. It had gotten so bad to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't even give a fuck. I just want to get to the playoffs, bro, because I know that's when, Steph is going to be back. This was at the time when Steph had got hurt. You know what I mean? It's 12 games in the season left, and we ended out the season on a 5-game winning streak, without Steph. But those first 7 games, bro, I think we went like 1-6 or 2-5, and they just look bad. And when Steph got hurt, I was just like, bro, just because I knew he was going to be back game 1 of the playoffs, because I knew, his injury wasn't that serious like that. It's a little foot sprain, you know what I'm saying? So 12 games, which is about, 3 weeks to a month. And then you add on the other week because the play-in has to be played after the regular season ends. So it's about 4 or 5 weeks he had to recover. So I knew he would be back game 1. So my whole thinking was, hey, let's just get to the playoffs, bro. On some real shit, let's just get to the motherfucking playoffs, because that's when our team is going to be at full strength. So let's just get to the playoffs, and because that will tell me if we can truly win a championship. I knew that we had a team that can win a championship this year. It's just a matter of, are we going to be able to stay healthy? You know what I mean? Clay came back. And then when Clay was back, was injured the first half of the season. Then when he come back, Draymond, fuck up his back, and he out for 30 games. Then when he come back, Steph fuck up his motherfucking foot. Now he out for 12 games the rest of the year. It's just like, bruh, can we catch a break? We didn't have the injury bug the last 2 years, man. Come on, basketball guys, give us a break now. I know y'all was fucking with us our first 4 or 5 years of our dynasty. You know what I mean? I understand that. You know what I mean? We didn't have a whole bunch of injuries, and then it started to affect us, that last year when KD, our last year with KD and shit, you know what I mean? But I'm saying all that to say, my nigga, that for me, all of a sudden now we seeing how the playoffs is turning out. You know what I mean? The Warriors lead their series 2-0 in dominating fashion with new toys and you know what I mean, new death lineups and all this shit. So, and then the Suns, who were in the regular season, were far and away, the best team in the regular season throughout the whole season. They're 1-1, in their series, and they just lost who most would consider their best player. Now, to me, Chris Paul is the best player on that team. That's my opinion. That's just because I understand how, I understand how, people will say that, how somebody could say that Devin Booker is the best player on the team. But to me, being the best player on the team is not just about if who scores the most point on the team, who's averaging the most. Yeah, a lot of times that is the best player on the team, but in this particular situation with the Suns, I feel like Chris Paul is the best player on that team because Devin Booker been doing this before Chris Paul. He been able to score the ball. You know what I mean? But once they got Chris Paul is when they became a great team. And Chris Paul has that track record. Go back to where he was at before he signed with the Phoenix Suns. He had that 1 year with OKC. OKC with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a rookie that year. Bro, and I mean, this was the bubble year, but bro, the Oklahoma City Thunder got to the playoffs. Now, they got beat by the Lakers in the first round, but they got to the fucking playoffs, my nigga. The Oklahoma City Thunder with essentially, you know, almost the same team that they got right now. You know what I'm saying? Like without Chris Paul that year, they don't sniff the fucking playoffs, bro. Like, I'm sorry. They was playing well that year to where they got to the playoffs. Okay, now the team wasn't good enough to ultimately do nothing in the playoffs, but he got that team to the fucking playoffs. Okay, think about the OKC Thunder right now and them going to the playoffs. They're the fucking worst team in the league right now. So Chris Paul did that. Go back to where he was before he was there with that 1 year in OKC. He was with the Houston Rockets. Houston thought they was trading him to NBA Siberia, and he turned OKC around for at least that 1 year. But what I'm saying is, when he was with Houston, they were actually a threat to beat the Warriors. They was a real fucking threat, okay? We played the Rockets in the playoffs a few times before Houston got Chris Paul. We beat them handily. I mean, in 2015, the first year when we won our first championship year, 15, we played the Houston Rockets in the Western Conference Finals, beat them 4-1. James Harden was horrible, okay? He was horrible, especially in that closeout game. He had like 13 turn. He had a NBA playoff record, like 11 or 12 or 13 turnovers in one game. Like, he was Tridash, okay? So we was beating them handily. When they got Chris Paul, bro, they almost beat us with KD. Okay, in 2018, they probably should have beat us. They was up 3-2, 3 games to 2. The game where they went up 3-2, Chris Paul pulled his hamstring. Now, they still had enough to win that game, but he pulled his hamstring. He was out for the rest of the series. We come back and win the series. I've been saying it since it happened, 2018. I'm going to just be honest. We don't know for sure because it didn't play out that way. So you ultimately never know. And I'm a believer in fate. I'm a believer in the things that happen are supposed to happen. So if I'm a believer in that, then that would mean that we would have found a way to win that series, win those last 2 games of the series anyway, right? However, I truly believe, you know, every rule has an exception. I truly believe that if Chris Paul don't get hurt in Game 5 in 2018, the Houston Rockets beat us in 2018. I'm sorry. Like, they just looked dominant, bro. They looked how in that 5-year run, those was the two biggest scares that the Warriors had was 2016 Western Conference Finals against the OKC Thunder. We was down 3-1, and Klay Thompson, and in Game 6, Klay Thompson was born. And then in 2008, 2 years later, in 2018, in the Western Conference Finals against Houston Rockets. I think that was the Western Conference Finals. It might have been the second round. Well, I believe it was the Western Conference Finals. Those were our 2 big scares. I mean, we got past both of them. But I mean, damn. I mean, it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? But I'm saying all this to say, like, that it you know, and yeah, James Harden was playing good and shit, but James Harden is not the reason why they almost beat us. Like, the proof is in the pudding. Before Chris Paul was with the OKC, was with the Houston Rockets, we would beat them handily. It wasn't close. When they got him, it was very close. Once he left, and then we had to play against the Rockets again in 2019, we beat them 4-2. We beat them 4-2 when they didn't have, after they didn't have Chris Paul no more, but Kevin Durant. That was the series where Kevin Durant got hurt, and he didn't play again until like game 3 or 4 to the NBA Finals, and he finally tore his Achilles. So, and if y'all remember, you're like, I said, Houston Rockets was the big, Houston was supposed to beat us that year. I'm sorry. They were supposed to beat us that year in 2019. We go on to lose in the finals to the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard, but they should have beat us. Okay? I believe they was up 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. We win game 4 to go 2-2. Game 5, we win that one. I forget exactly. I think KD got hurt in like game 2 or 3 of that series. I forget what game he got hurt in, but he got hurt. And when he got, I think it was game 4. And when he got hurt, like, that was supposed to be like, I think they was up 2-1. And that was supposed to be like, oh, KD hurt now. But somehow or another, Steph and Clay rose, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, and they end up winning that game. And then game 5, I forget what happened in game 5. I know we won, but the game was game 6. Game 6 was the game. No. Wait. I'm actually lying, bro. They did still have Chris Paul that year in 2019. They did. I'm tripping. They had Chris Paul in 2019. Because before game 6, Steph was trying to come into the Houston Rockets arena and get some shots up or whatever, and somehow or another Chris Paul stopped that from happening. And then, so what happens is in the game, in the first half, Steph was horrible. First half of game 6, we up 3-2. Steph is horrible, bro. And so it looked like they gonna probably win this game, and then we're gonna have to go to game 7 and try to beat them in game 7. Nigga, Steph came out, nigga, and dominated the second half. Nigga, 33 points. Steph didn't have no points in the first half. He had 33 in the second half and hit all the clutch shots and just like, and then after the game, KD came up to him in the locker room and he was like, he said to KD, lock me out again, boy. Lock me out the gym again, boy. Like basically saying, like telling KD, yeah, that nigga tried to lock me out the gym. You know what I'm saying? And prevent me from getting my shots up. Now lock me out, nigga. You ain't gonna be able to lock me out. Now your ass going home. I just sent your bitch ass home. But anyway, I'm saying that to say, bro, that Chris Paul was the reason for the Houston Rockets being as good as they were during the years where they almost beat the Golden State Warriors. It wasn't James Harden. It was Chris Paul. Because you can see before him, they was a good team, but they weren't close to beating us. Then when they got him, they almost beat us. And then once he left, they started going down. And then the team that he went to became better. OKC Thunder, they made the playoffs. And then he went to the Phoenix Suns, a team that the Phoenix Suns was trash before Chris Paul. That's how they got DeAndre Ayton. They had the number 1 draft pick. That's how they got Devin Booker. They had one of the top draft picks. You know what I'm saying? they was trash, bro. You know what I'm saying? And Devin Booker was already, Devin Booker's career high, 70 points. He scored that in Boston like a few years before Chris Paul came. 70 points in one game. Okay? But guess what? They lost. This nigga scored 70 points in a game, and these niggas lost, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm trying to get my 6-pack back. You know what I mean? My shit is, you know what I mean? It's there, but it's whatever. But yeah, though. So to me, I went off on a tangent, but Chris Paul is the best player on that team. You know what I'm saying? So, Devin Booker might be a better scorer. But see, the thing is, Chris Paul can score when he need to. He just what Stephen A. say, he's just the quintessential point guard. You know what I'm saying? He's a true point guard. He'll score when he needs to or when he see, and that's what he did in game 1. But basically, to get back to my original point with us being the favorite, now with Devin Booker being hurt, okay, and them losing game 2 and almost kind of barely winning game 1. I know they were up big at one point, but when it, in the fourth quarter, that game was close, and Chris Paul had to, turn into the scoring Chris Paul and take over the game in order for them to win. And even in game 2 with Devin Booker, if I'm not mistaken, when he got hurt, the Pelicans was in the third quarter, the Pelicans was winning the game 77-74. So they was playing well. But I'm saying, to me, the Golden State Warriors have always been the favorite. We have never not been the favorite, because had we start playing bad, we was on a pace for 60 wins. Okay, we ended up with 53. Had we started playing how we played when we was injured, if we weren't injured, okay, then you got me. I give you that. But it was always one of the most important key pieces to our team that was out. So I mean, you got that excuse. You got that excuse. It's a legit. It's not an excuse. It's legit. You know what I mean? Like, and that's for any team. If you hurt, I would say this. Even the Lakers. I talk shit about the Lakers. Do I think they was gonna win a championship, even if LeBron and AD was healthy the whole year? No, I don't. I just don't think the team is good enough. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like the Suns is better, the Warriors is better, the Bucks is better. And maybe a few other teams. But do I feel like if AD and LeBron, and obviously AD was hurt way more than LeBron. LeBron missed about, 20, 25 games or something like that. AD was out half the season and shit, like always. Do I feel like if AD and LeBron was there, 70 to 75 out of 82 games instead of, what as many games that they was out, do I feel like they would have at least been a playoff team? I do. You know what I'm saying? So injury, so me saying that the Warriors went on a little bit of a lull or whatever, because the fact that at some part of the season, for the whole season, one of our key players was out, and that had something to do with our record, you know, falling, and us, you know, that's not a that's not far-fetched to say. That's not me just saying, oh, you just making an excuse because your team was. No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what it is. Like I said, I just gave you the same excuse for the Lakers. You know what I mean? I will admit that if AD and LeBron was there, you know, 70 to 75 games out of that 82 game season, they have a better record. They probably make the playoffs. They probably don't win the championship or nothing like that, but they make the playoffs at least. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm saying that you know, with that being said, I'm saying that the Golden State Warriors, our little slump that we went through and that we went, you know, that was for me more due to injury and just different parts being in and out of the lineup so much. You know what I mean? Because you can see, you know, when everybody was there at the beginning of the season, except for Clay, for the most part, you know, and Wiseman too, but Wiseman was never there. So like, it's not, he you know, he'll factor in starting next year, but he was never like actually here this year. So it's like, it's not the fact that he's not here now is you don't really feel like you miss him, kind of, so to speak, even though we do miss, you know, we could use the big body down there. But I'm saying for the most part, at the beginning of the season, you know, those first 20 to 30 games outside of Clay, who was, you know, who could have played, but, you know, they were still, you know, he was still working his way back. Everybody was there. You know what I mean? And we had, if not the best record, one of the best records in the league. And then once people start being in and out of the lineup, then, you know, it started to, things started to change. But we still had a 500 or above record, even, you know what I mean? But we, you know, we just weren't winning at the same clip. But for me, I always knew that, okay, let's just get to the play. Like once it got to the end of the season, like I said, if Steph got hurt, I'm like, let's just get to the playoffs. Let's just get to the playoffs, because that's when we're going to have our whole team, our full team. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be able to, I'll be able to really, you know, assess if we really a championship team or not. But until I seen that, you know, because I knew for a fact that how deep we is. So I'm like, man, we a deep team, bro. You know what I'm saying? If we could just stay healthy, we gonna be a problem in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. So that's where I'm at with that. You know what I mean? You know, y'all the ones that, you know, jumped off the bandwagon and switched up and, okay, y'all want to, you know, switch up and say this and, you know, because of injuries or, you know, they, you know, whatever. Like I said, I was frustrated and disappointed with how they was playing a little while there, but I still deep down was like, all right, let's just get back fully healthy, man, and then just go from there. You know what I mean? Then I'll be able to see. It was kind of, you know, kind of teetering there, like, man, you motherfuckers like, but, you know, that's that. I just wanted to, you know, address that about, you know, about the Warriors tonight. I mean, about, you know, we play tonight, but I wanted to address that about the Warriors. You feel me? And about how, you know, they jumping back on the bandwagon now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody jumping back on the bandwagon. It's cool. I know that's just how it is. That's how niggas gonna be. Niggas gonna jump on and jump off, and, you know, so but yeah, we always been a favorite. Now, Celtics, Nets. Man, I'm supposed to get to this. I went 40 minutes talking about that shit. Celtics, Nets. Man, the Celtics, the Celtics look good right now. The Celtics look like, you know, the Celtics look like the best team in the East right now, for sure. And what they doing to the, to Kevin Durant in particular, because, at least Kyrie had a good game, at least game one. But, like, I've never seen Kevin Durant be defended like this. You know what I'm saying? Like he's looking out there like he don't know what the fuck to do now. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing to me is how, they want to start talking about Steve Nash. You motherfuckers always want to go to the coach. They want to start talking about Steve Nash now. You know what I mean? And, for me, I'm not blaming Steve Nash, bro. I'm just not. I'm not blaming Steve Nash because, now, could they, I don't think Steve Nash is a bad coach. I don't think Steve Nash is Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or even Steve Kerr. But I don't think he's a bad coach. I think the probably, maybe, I don't know. I'm not there, so I can't necessarily say. But if from the outside looking in, it may look like from a leadership standpoint, they don't really have that. You know what I'm saying? And it would be dope if they had a coach that could somewhat, not necessarily get Kyrie in check or even KD. It ain't about getting them in check. Just kind of like a coach that'll be able to, say something to him. Or not that Steve Nash can't say nothing to him, but I'm just saying that it just don't look like, like it don't look like he has the real authority or cachet to really be able to either say or do the things that you might need to do as a coach. Like, it's like, to me, the problem is what Kyrie said when him and KD first teamed up a few years back on one of their podcasts, on a YouTube or something. Kyrie was, hey, we don't need no coach. Coach, what's that? Fuck a coach. We don't need no damn coach. You know what I'm saying? And this is after they had just hired Steve Nash. You know what I'm saying? To me, what they should have did on some real shit was just kept the coach that they had. The nigga that's on our staff now, he assistant coach on our staff. I forget his name. He can start with a K or something. I know his name, but I forget it. But scary Freddy Krueger looking ass nigga. But he was the coach that helped turn the Brooklyn Nets franchise around. You know what I'm saying? When they had D'Angelo Russell over there, and Spencer Dinwiddie, and Karis LeVert. You know what I mean? And the big man, Jared Allen. That's when the shit started to change and they became a good team. You know what I'm saying? They went to the playoffs. I think that was what, 2019? Yeah, that was 2019, the 18-19 season. And Kenny Atkinson, that's his name, the coach, Kenny Atkinson. He on our staff now. He was Steve Kerr in the Warriors. So That's who they should have kept. You know what I mean? He looked like he got the backbone. I'm not saying Steve Nash don't have a backbone, but I'm saying he's a first-time coach. I don't agree with Stephen A. when he's trying to say, like, nah, they hired who they wanted to hire. They need a coach over there that can be able to be like, nah, bro, we need to do it. This is how we need to do it. Not all the time, not my way or the highway kind of shit, because you got KD and Kyrie. You need to be able to, adhere to them. You know what I mean? And what they seeing out there on the court. You know what I mean? But sometimes a coach needs to be like, either that or they need a coach that's defensive minded, something, just some shit like that. Maybe even a Mark Jackson, somebody that. Now, as I say that, I'm still not blaming Steve Nash. I'm not blaming Steve Nash at all because, I'm not even blaming him for the fact that maybe, he wants to, but Steve Nash needed to maybe start off with a team like what the OKC Thunder is right now. Like something like that, to where a team where he can establish himself as a head coach in the NBA, and start to garner some level of respect from, other players around the NBA as a coach. He got respect around the NBA from his playing career. 2-time NBA Hall of Fame point guard. One of the top 75 greatest players of all time, top 75 member. So yeah, he got respect from that end. But as far as like being a coach, not saying that he don't fully have respect, but I mean, you gotta do this shit first. It's just like a player coming into the league. Like Jordan Poole, for example. He's garnering respect now because he's showing it. He's proving it. You don't just because you get drafted, you don't just got respect like that. You got to show that you can come in. So that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? So I think starting out with a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and all this quote unquote star power, and then when they got James Harden and all that shit, and then now they got Ben Simmons, like. That team needs more of a, like I said, to me, Kenny Atkinson was better because he's already been a coach, and he just looked like, it seemed like he got a little bit more backbone. You know what I'm saying? To be able to, if something needs to be said to KD or Kyrie, like, nah, it shouldn't, happen like this. It should go like this kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? I think that would serve the team better, because when Kyrie says, now this is where I do agree with Stephen A. When Kyrie says something like, oh, we don't need a coach, he think about himself. You know what I mean? He's thinking just him and KD's talent and how much of great players that they are, and being able to, put the ball in the basket. He's thinking that's just enough to be able to win and get to the playoffs and succeed and possibly win a championship and all that. But that's not true, because you don't got 12, 13, 14, 15 KDs and Kyries out there. It's only one of you, Kyrie, and it's only one Kevin Durant. So the rest of the team does need a coach. And to some degree, man, star players, superstar players, they need coaches too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not to coach their talent or their skill and all that shit, but to be able to, like Michael Jordan. He needed somebody like Phil Jackson to come in and be like, check this out. We know how much of a great player you are. You're the best player in the league. But if you want to ultimately win a championship, you're going to have to start trusting your teammates. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to start giving them the opportunity to be successful on the court with you as well. You know what I mean? To where they might even be able to be a decoy or something like that, because, you ain't going to be able to just do it just you one-on-one, just trying to beat the team by yourself and all that, man, because they gearing up on you. The defense is gearing up on you. They know what's coming. You know what I mean? They know you trying to, bulldoze your way to the basket or create or, whatever. They just, bad boy Pistons and all these things, man, they just not going to let you just do that. You going or you'll be able to get yours, but it won't be enough to the effect to where it's, because it take a team, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Michael Jordan was just the greatest player of all time. And he was the best player in the league at that time. Even before he had won the championship, he was the best player in the league. Okay? But he needed a coach like Phil Jackson to be able to, like I said, not coach his actual like basketball talent, but to be able to coach his mindset a little bit, or maybe not his mindset, his mentality, because he got a killer mentality, but I mean just the mindset of just being able to trust your teammates, trusting your team. Let's do this together as a team, not just you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. What the Nets need as a coach, and they don't have that in Steve Nash, because Steve Nash, he just hadn't coached yet. So he had no type of resume, repertoire. He had no type of nothing for nobody to go off of. And I think what they was trying to do, and what a lot of franchises have been trying to do since the success of the Warriors, is, man, I believe they was just trying to bite off the Warriors and get, they wanted Steve Kerr to be their version of Steve Nash kind of thing. I mean, they wanted Steve Nash to be their version of Steve Kerr kind of deal. These leagues is copycat leagues. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's all it is. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the difference with Steve Kerr is that, I mean, I don't know. It's just, Steve Kerr he was already an executive. He was executive with the Phoenix Suns before he was a coach. And he had a job with TNT as well. He was doing what he was like Reggie Miller. He was doing what Reggie Miller was doing. And in the games that Steve Kerr would call, I mean, you can hear him talk and hear his commentary on the game and know that this nigga know what the fuck he talking about. You know what I'm saying? Was just a role player throughout his career, but he was a good enough role player that he was on 5 championship teams, 3 with the Bulls, 2 with the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? I know motherfuckers say, oh, well, that's the difference right there. You have 5 rings. It's not the rings. It's his. I mean, yeah, that helps, but I just think Steve Kerr was just more made. He was more ready to be a coach. You know what I mean? I think Steve Nash came into it more like Derek Fisher. When Derek Fisher came right from playing, the next year, Phil Jackson hired him as the coach of the New York Knicks. Derek Fisher wasn't I'm not saying he wasn't ready to be a coach, you know what I mean? Because he got the mindset to be a coach. But, it didn't work out that year. It was a whole bunch of other shit going on, but it didn't work out that year. I think Derek Fisher, had he been given opportunity to continue to, because he was only a coach that 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he coached 2, but I think he was only that 1 year. But I think had he been given opportunity to continue on coaching, coaching that team, I think he eventually would have got better and would have, became a better coach. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what Steve Nash is being allowed to do. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what, second year that he's the coach of this team? Either second or his third. But, yeah, so, yeah, but like I said, with all that being said, I'm not blaming Steve Nash. The blame is either the front office for not hiring a coach that has backbone to be able to reel in KD and Kyrie a little bit, or it's on KD and Kyrie for how they played, because the defense is horrible. Steve Nash was never a good defender, or he's not a defensive coach. He's a great mind. He knows the game of basketball, and you know, he was one of the all-time great point guards. So I mean, to play the point guard position, you got to be a smart player. You got to have high IQ, and Steve Nash definitely has that. But what they need is like leadership, discipline, and a defensive presence. That's what they need. If the Nets had that, they would be the favorite to win it all. You know what I'm saying? Because Kyrie and KD is enough offensively to, you know, and then in last night's game, in particular, game 2, where the Boston Celtics defense just, they just dismantled their offense. I'm talking about lockdown KD and Kyrie to some degree as well. But KD in particular, I mean, had him, on clamps, man. Locked up. You feel me? If they had defense, a defensive presence, you know, and just some type of real leadership and discipline on their team, and only thing I would say offensively, they do need to, because the reason why it's looking like this is because, and this is why you need a coach and you need somebody to be able to, because just going one-on-one and all that other shit, that's not going to work against all NBA teams, especially when you get into, like, they got into a series like this against the Boston Celtics, and that's a bad matchup if you just got a whole bunch of one-on-one players, because they're going to shut that shit down. You know what I mean? The Boston Celtics they got length, they long, they got the defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart. You know what I'm saying? First guard to win it since Gary Payton in 95 or 96 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So they got a great defense. You need to have, and I'm not just trying to say this because it's my team, but you need to have an offense like the Warriors with ball movement and screens and not just one-on-one players where the whole defense could just gear up on you, or like how the Spurs was before, you know, because, you know, the Warriors basically just picked up on what the Spurs was doing. You know what I mean? With all that ball movement and all that shit, they just kind of like took it to another level because of the type of shooters that they got. But that's the type of offense you need to run to be able to beat the Boston Celtics, and that don't even mean that is gonna work. But you got a higher chance of some shit like that working over just, hey, KD your turn, Kyrie your turn, KD your turn, Seth Curry here, Bruce Brown or whatever the fuck here it is, you know, like. And just going one-on-one all the fucking time. Dragic, you know, like everybody going one-on-one. And in particular with last night's game, the reason why it's definitely on KD and Kyrie, but I'll more put it on KD. Because even though Kyrie didn't play well, he played a little bit better than KD. You know what I'm saying? The role players played well for KD, for the Nets. Seth Curry had like 16 points. Bruce Brown had 20 something. The tall nigga down there, Claxton, you know what I mean, with the dreads and shit, he had like 2 or 3 blocks. He was, you know, he was giving them energy, you know what I mean? He was active down there. Patty Mills hit a few threes, you know what I mean, was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Andre Drummond was being a dog down there, rebounding and being a presence down low. So they got enough from the others, as Shaq would say. This was on KD and Kyrie, in particular KD. I mean, so, hey, now, if we just really just looking at it realistically, literally, what's going on, all the it seems worse than what it is because, like I said, I never seen KD get locked up like this before. I never seen it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that shit last night, I never seen. I tweeted that, bruh, this might be the worst game KD ever played. Like, straight the fuck up. Like 4 for 17, 0 for 10 in the second half, 6 turnovers. Like, bro. And I mean, he looked like he was turning the ball over left and right. I'm at home watching the game. I'm going back and forth from the living room to the kitchen, you know what I mean? So I'm hearing it, but I'm not. Every time I walk to the kitchen, I hear the motherfucker say, KD turns it over again. I'm like, what the fuck? And then they started to get into his head. This is what making it so. Yeah, KD who, bruh? This was making it so. This was making it so. What's the word? Surprising, because it seemed like they got into his head at a certain point, because then he started missing shots that he would normally make. You know what I'm saying? Like, he started missing shots that he would normally make. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he was just off. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I'm keeping it all the way, one thou wow. Really? All Boston did was protect home court. That's really all they did. It seems worse because of how they're doing it. Like, they shutting down one of the most prolific scorers and one of the most dynamic duos in NBA history by doing it. You know what I mean? But I mean, if we really looking at it, like, I mean, shit, they was up by 17 at one point in the game yesterday. And even in the first game, you know what I mean? They barely lost that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, still, they lost. You know what I'm saying? But so all Boston really did was hold home court. You know what I'm saying? If they go back to Brooklyn and Brooklyn win both of their games, now it's 2-2. We got a series. Even if they just win game 3, Brooklyn is back in it. So I'm not saying just yet. This how much, even though, you know what I mean, you know, I talk shit about it, you know, like I said, I'm gonna still keep it real within talking my shit. I got enough respect for KD and Kyrie that I'm still not saying the series is over. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not saying the series is over. You feel me? Because if they win game 3, they right back in it. But then they got to win game 4 too, though. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it is kind of satisfying though to see it happen, because KD bitch ass got me blocked on Instagram. You still a bitch boy for that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't said nothing all like that to you, nigga, for you to have me blocked and all that shit, nigga. That's some whole ass shit, boy. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't stand this Bay Area heat. This nigga mad because Steph Curry getting all the love. Nigga, it's Steph Curry team. Nigga, the fuck you thought? You really thought you was gonna come out here, nigga, and take Steph's spot? You stupid motherfucker. You wasn't finna come out here and do that. So, Phoenix, the Phoenix Funds. Hey, on my mama, bro. This shit crazy, bro. This shit crazy. So, hey, man, it's going down though, man. Yeah, man, it's down though, man. Milwaukee, yeah, Milwaukee. Hey, so, but yeah, man, nah, that's just, you know, that's you know that series. But that's what I'm about to say. It is somewhat satisfying though to see this nigga KD struggling, because of the fact that of the narrative that it's like these motherfuckers, bro. They want to paint these narratives that they want the people to believe, bro. They don't want to, because all of this shit about, like, bro, KD ain't never came to Golden State and carried nothing. And the reason why, like, this is cool is because this shows that, bro, you don't gotta do nothing. You don't gotta. What's supposed to be and what's supposed to show itself will always show itself. Okay? Kind of like on some vengeance, kind of like you don't even got to worry about that kind of shit because it's going to reveal itself for what it needs to be. Now, what I mean by that is, all of this shit about KD coming over here and he saved the Warriors and he carried the team and he this and that and blah, 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 blah. The dope thing about it is that it's being proven right now. It's being proven that that's not the case. That's what we're seeing and what's being proven on both sides, from the Warriors and what they doing right now and KD where he at and what he doing right now. Okay, so what I mean by what I just said is that, like, what's supposed to happen will happen, and it will reveal itself, and you don't gotta worry about trying to prove motherfuckers wrong or prove, because if it's true, then it's gonna, because all you got to do is let time go by in any situation, and what's supposed to happen is going to happen. It's going to play out how it's supposed to. Like the saying, I don't know if y'all seen the meme, I don't even got to get revenge. I just sit back and just let time go by and just let God work. You know what I mean? Kind of deal. You know what I mean? Because y'all want to talk all this shit, like I said, about KD came over here and saved us and saved this and that, and that's never been fucking true. Every fucking stat, facts, eye test, all of that proves it. From the fact that we won a championship before KD, should have won 2 before the nigga. Okay, won 73 games in a single season without this nigga. Beat him in that same season in the playoffs to get to the finals in a team that he was on after being down 3-1. Okay, so we was already an all-time great team before him. He came and joined us. We made it easier for him. That's proven by the fact that, like I said this a few videos ago, Ty Lue said that in those finals where he was coaching the Cavaliers and they were playing against the Warriors, he was keying in on Steph Curry. I retweeted something yesterday where this is a fact. In the 2017 finals, Steph Curry was double teamed 40 times. Kevin Durant was doubled 0 times. In the 2018 finals, Steph Curry was doubled like 200 and something times, bro. Like 200 and something times. Kevin Durant was doubled like 40 something times. The reason why I'm saying 200 and something times and 40 something times, because I seen the stat yesterday, and I just remember that I don't remember the exact number, but I do remember that it said, I can prove it. You know what I mean? It's on my Twitter. I retweeted it. So if y'all just think I'm just spewing out shit and lying, go to my Twitter at Snax, at JADASNAX on Twitter, twitter.com/JadaSnacks, and you will see one of my tweets yesterday was a retweet where I retweeted somebody that had this stat on it. I just remember the number. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember the exact number. I just remember it saying, and this was from everybody was commenting on a tweet that was saying, because they was talking about the KD and how he looks right now and how he's playing right now, and somebody had tweeted out, oh, Steph carried KD and blah blah blah, and then under that start being hella comments and all that shit. And most people were on the side of Steph, Curry, KD. You had one or two people that, oh, this and that. He was, they trying to say the finals MVP shit and all that other shit. And like I said, Steph didn't win those final MVPs because Ty Lue let this nigga KD get. His focus was to make sure Steph Curry didn't get off. And that didn't work because Steph Curry went off, but he went off a little, but he still went off. But he still went off a little less than KD because, bro, KD is on the court with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And then you got Iggy over here and Draymond to run the show. And like, bro, he didn't have to do nothing but spot up and shoot. Like, it was easy for him over here. And as you see now, without this team, without Steph, Klay, and Dre, and without Steph and all the ball movement and all that, you see what it is. These niggas is gonna struggle to get out of the first round. With a team that came into the season as a favorite to win it all. So I'm not saying this to because KD is a great player. This is not to down KD. This is to big up Steph and the Warriors and what we got going on over here. So Ty Lue said it. He's like, hey, KD is a great player, this and that. He said, but our focus is on Steph Curry. Because if he get going, then we have no shot. And then another thing is, go look at the stats. From the true shooting percentage, from field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, win-loss record percentage, defense, everything, all across the board. When Kevin Durant was here in Golden State, and you had certain games throughout the year where either one of them didn't play. Whenever KD wouldn't play but Steph would, it was essentially the same team. And the team was just as explosive, just as dynamic, all that. When KD played and Steph didn't, it was still a good team. It wasn't the same team. It wasn't as dynamic. It wasn't as a lethal team. It was just a good team. Okay. And also all the numbers was worse. Okay. All the numbers was worse. Okay. Like I said, across the board, all the numbers were worse. So that says they're a better team. They function how they're supposed to function with Steph. Okay. And my final point with proving this shit is that, like I said, it's being played out right now. So you got all that. We had already won a championship and established ourselves as one of the all-time great teams before KD. Okay. So then when he come here, of course we gonna become the fucking one of the greatest teams of all time, because we just dropped one of the greatest players of all time on a team that's already one of the greatest teams of all time. And that's why he got so much backlash. So yeah, we win 2 out of 3 championships and probably would have won a third if he don't get hurt in 2019 playoffs. Right? Then he leaves, and I think what he thought he was doing was leaving us for dead. Oh, y'all didn't want to give me. Y'all still want to think Steph Curry is the nigga over here, Bob? Okay, well, I'm finna leave, and then let's see how y'all do. I never, ever, man, you can go back and look at my tweets, Facebook posts, all that. I never had no doubt in my mind that the Warriors would become a good team again. Wasn't sure if they would get back and like become and like win a championship, but I knew they would become a good team again.
You have an incoming call. You have an incoming call. You have an incoming call. You
I gotta address this letter.
You have an incoming call. You have an incoming call.
Because because KD is not who made us. Y'all is the one that wouldn't get KD made them a dynasty. KD didn't make us no fucking dynasty, bro. We was already doing this. And then to be the notion, oh yeah, they knew they had to go get KD because they knew they couldn't beat LeBron no more. Like, how, bro? So because LeBron got the NBA to fucking suspend Draymond Green so he could have a try to come back and win that championship because he knew he couldn't beat us at full strength. We couldn't, because of that, we couldn't beat LeBron again. Like, these motherfuckers act like Shannon Sharpe be the main nigga pumping that shit, that fucking bullshit. Because it's a way for him to try to pump LeBron up to be better than Michael Jordan. You ain't better than Michael Jordan. You have been, never will be. Not even close. It's other players this nigga ain't passed. So how you better than Jordan? That nigga ain't passed, man. He ain't passed Kobe. He ain't passed Kareem. So my thing is like this. How was we not going to be able to beat LeBron James again? You know what I'm saying? Like, and because like I said, my thing is these motherfuckers act like the Warriors went to the finals and got swept for nothing in 2016. They was up 3-1. And then LeBron James pulled that suspect ass shit. They was up 3-1. You know what I'm saying? So to sit up there and say, oh, without KD, they wouldn't have been able to beat LeBron James. They knew they had to go get him because it was over. They knew they could never beat LeBron James again. Bullshit. They was going to come back that next year and win it. Like all of a sudden, like the Warriors was just going to fall off the map. And just, so we was going to go from winning a championship one year, the next year winning 73 games out of 82, the most wins in a single season in NBA history, surpassing Michael Jordan's 96 Chicago Bulls, getting all the way to the NBA Finals, going up 3-1, having the back-to-back MVP, getting all the way to the finals, going up 3-1, and then losing, and then all of a sudden we was going to be trashed the next year? That don't make no sense to me. That's just not logical thinking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not. Like, y'all, like I said, y'all make it seem like these niggas got swept in the finals. Like, they had absolutely no chance. Like, they got straight up beat down. Nah, nigga, they barely lost in a series that they should have won, where LeBron James cheated and got one of our key players suspended, which is essentially like, what he basically did is essentially like hoping and wishing that a player from the opposing team gets hurt so that way it can be easier for you to win the championship. That's basically what it was. He knew that he couldn't beat us at full strength, so he whined and complained after game 4, after they lost game 4 and we was up 3-1. He whined and complained, talking about, oh, Draymond, ain't nobody ever called me this. Trying to get Draymond suspended because he knew that Draymond had accumulated all these techs throughout the playoffs, and that his next tech was going to trigger for him to be suspended for a game. So that was his strategy. Not to go out there and to prove that I can beat this team. His strategy was to try to get one of the other players out the game. You's a bitch ass nigga. And then you want to say you better than Michael Jordan? The fuck out of here, nigga. You ain't nowhere close to no fuck Michael Jordan, bitch. You a stupid, dumb motherfucker. That's what you is. You feel me? So I always say, to me, what the Warriors would have did if they would have never got KD that next year in 2017, I feel like we was going to win a championship. What we would have did is exactly what the San Antonio Spurs did in 2014 after they barely lost the finals that they should have won in 2013 against the Heat. That's exactly what the fuck we was going to do. Okay? The motherfucking San Antonio Spurs came back with a motherfucking vengeance. That next year to avenge that loss in the 2013 finals. Okay? They was on a mission. And that's exactly what we was going to do. That's just what I believe. So if y'all niggas want to believe, because nobody knows for sure what would for sure happen, because we only know what actually did happen. And KD came over here and we won the next two championships. But y'all niggas act like y'all hypothetical, what y'all think was gonna happen is fact and shit. So if y'all, which it ain't. So if y'all think that the Warriors wouldn't have been able to beat LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers ever again, no more, without having no proof of that, then I can think that they would have won it the next year without having proof of it. So we'll just be two motherfuckers saying shit that can't never be proven then, motherfucker. You stupid motherfucker, Shannon Sharp, you's a dumb son of a bitch for you always getting on TV saying that dumbass shit. Trying to prop this nigga up. Nigga, cause you, man, please. That should make me so mad, bro, because they prop up both of these niggas at the same time while down in Steph and the Warriors. And Steph and the Warriors is the niggas like, Steph got something over KD and LeBron, bitch ass, nigga. Nigga, he actually won a championship with a team that drafted him without having to create a fucking super team. And he wasn't expected to do it. Became one of the all-time greats and wasn't expected to do it. He did it the way Jordan did it, the way Giannis did it, the way Magic did it, the way Bird did it, nigga, the way Kobe did it. Yeah. You stupid motherfuckers. LeBron never did that. He had to go team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and all, and make a super team, and then do all. He had to do all this shit, man. Had to team up with them niggas that still fucking lost in horrific fashion. So, nah. And so Steph Curry has beaten LeBron James in 4 finals tries. He's beat him 3 times. That's ultimately what fucking matters. Not all this other shit, all-time leading scorer. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Nigga, we went up head-to-head in the finals 4 times. I beat you 3 and should have beat you 4 if your bitch ass didn't cheat, nigga, on the second time, you stupid motherfucker. No hairline having ass bitch. Okay? So I don't want to fucking hear this shit. So that's what he got over. Nigga, LeBron James supposed to be this, that, Jordan, this, that. How are you Jordan? Everybody else winning championships on your watch. Ain't nobody else winning championships when Jordan got to the top. He was stopping niggas from getting to the championship. Telling niggas that, yeah, y'all my friends, but I take great fucking pleasure in preventing you niggas from winning. I mean, it brings me much joy. Yeah, this type of mentality this man had. LeBron ain't got that type of thing. He want to share the wealth. He want everybody, okay, you get a ring. This nigga Oprah. Nigga, how you the greatest of all time, nigga, and you letting KD, Steph Curry, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, Dirk Nowitzki, and all you letting everybody win a fucking championship, bitch. All these niggas got legacies off your bitch ass. But you the GOAT. Fuck out of here, nigga. You feel me? So he got that, Steph get 1 more ring. Him and LeBron got the same amount. Steph got 3. This thing got 4. If he get 1 more ring, which I believe he will get, it's 4-4. I'm inclined to say he better than LeBron James after that shit. I got the same amount of rings as you, and I did this shit really greater than you. Nigga, I revolutionized the whole game. I changed the game. Your ass ain't changed shit. You just a big brute force ass nigga that came through and was able to just power your way through the, to the lane. You know what I mean? LeBron James is an all-time great player. I give him that. Steph Curry did it much more impressively, if you ask me. So, yeah. You feel me? So, he got that over LeBron James, where y'all want to keep putting, sucking LeBron James dick all the damn time. And then KD, what Steph got over KD, nigga, I've beaten you. I got a better win-loss record than you when I play against you in the regular season and in the playoffs. Okay. I got more rings than you. I beat you. I eliminated you one year on my way to a finals. I got more MVPs than you. You had to come to my team to get your 2 rings. Okay, like what? I mean, what more do Steph got to do, bro? I mean, I just don't. I don't understand this. I always said this. They always say, KD, man, the only thing KD got over Steph Curry is the fact that he taller than him. That's it. That's it. If KD was as short as Steph Curry or Steph Curry as tall as KD, get the fuck out of here, bro. All that nigga got over that nigga's height and shit. So, like I said, to me, it's playing out how it's supposed to be, and I love it. It brings me great satisfaction. You know, KD's still an all-time great player. It brings me great satisfaction to see his struggles right now, though. Great, much joy, because now that, like I said, that whole narrative of he came over here to save us and he was our savior and all that other shit, and he was the best player on the team and he carried us and all that shit. Now it's starting to be proven that that isn't quite true, and it ain't nobody having to say it that is not true. It's being shown. Okay, if you just look at the facts and look at the stats and everything that's going on. Like I said, we won before you, and then you left, thought you was leaving us for dead, that we would never be a good team again, and we right back to being a championship contender again. We don't even gotta win another championship, bro. The fact that we back in this position right now as being one of the top teams in the league and being good enough to win a championship, that's already right there. That already defeats the whole notion of Kevin Durant. We needed him and all that other shit. No, he needed us for his legacy. We had already done something that nobody thought if we didn't win no more championships, we just had that one. Did nobody think that the Warriors, nigga, even Warriors, I'm a diehard fucking Warriors fan. Coming into the 2014-2015 season, nigga, I would have bet, nigga, $1 million, nigga, the Warriors wasn't gonna win. I knew we had a good team. Y'all have to remember, the previous year we lost in Game 7 in the first round to the Clippers, to Chris Paul and the Clippers. Okay, we was on the scene, but nobody thought the Warriors was finna win a championship and Steph Curry was finna be the MVP and all that shit. Like I said in one of my past videos, Steph Curry passed niggas up. He was behind Chris Paul. He was behind Kevin Durant. He was behind Russell Westbrook and a few other players. He passed them niggas up. Okay, and that's what all the jealousy and all that shit was about. You know what I'm saying? Early, you know, in our dynasty run. You know what I mean? Like, damn, this nigga ain't that, you know. That's why we won 73 games after winning the championship, nigga. Y'all nigga thought it was a fluke. Oh, it's a fluke? Okay, 73 wins, bitch. Unanimous MVP, bitch. Yeah. So, that's what happened with that, man. And you know, so yeah. So the fact that we back in this position already, that alone says that we don't need KD. We don't have to win a championship to prove it, because we already won a championship without him. And now we back into being a championship contending team. So that alone says, bro, it's look at what we on the way up and look at the Nets. Look like they on the way down. Not necessarily on the way down, but they not the team that they just staying, like they not the team that y'all thought they was gonna be. You know what I mean? It takes a team. It takes structure. It takes culture. You can't just go over there and just throw Kevin Durant and KD and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving together and just be like, okay, yeah, just pencil us into the Eastern Conference Finals every year. It don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that. The Warriors are showing, okay? It take all of that. It take great players, all-time great players, Hall of Famers. It take culture. It take team. It take a great coach. It take unselfishness, players being willing to do stuff and maybe take roles that they may not want to, and throwing all your ego to the side. It take all that, bro. That's what the Warriors are showing. So, hey, it brings me great satisfaction to see the struggles of Kevin Durant right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, hey, like I said, it's you know, like I said, it's happening on both sides. It's happening. Not I'm saying it. It's happening. It's being proven. So, you know, that series right there is like I said, even with me saying all that, I'm still not saying that it's over. You know what I mean? If the Nets can go over here and win game 3, then they got action. But it's gonna be interesting to see. Now, like I said, this shows you how much respect that I got for KD. I see KD going for 30. I'm not gonna say, you know, everybody after game 1, okay, KD going for 40. I knew he wasn't going for 40. I bet my neighbor. He's like, you know, we talking about he trying to give all the credit to KD just in game 1. KD was just missing shots. He just missed shots. He just had a bad game. I'm like, yeah, some of those shots he missed, you know what I mean? Just because he just missed them. But a lot of that other shit, bro, was the defense. You're not gonna get a defense no credit. Nah. He was just missing shots. I bet you next game that he go for 40. Oh, I bet. That nigga ain't getting nowhere near close to 40, nigga. And they only made 4 damn shots. Nigga was 4 for 17. So that's all I'm saying, bro. I mean, get the niggas credit. Get it. They got the defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? To say that the Boston Celtics have absolutely nothing to do with KD's struggles, I mean, you either not watching the game or you just refuse to say what your eyes are seeing, or you just a stupid motherfucker. You just a dumb son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I'm not saying that about my neighbor. Me and my neighbor, I fuck with my neighbor. That's my nigga. We be smoking weed and all that shit. I'm just saying, just in general, that's my opinion. I'm not saying, I can say that opinion for him. That opinion was, but like I said, that's my OG. You know what I mean? We always be out there, you know what I mean, arguing and smoking weed and talking, having healthy back and forth banter about sports and all that shit. So, but yeah, that was one of the things that because I'm looking at it from, I'm like, he not going for 40, bro. So even with this one, I'm not saying he going for 40. I'll say that I won't be surprised if he don't go for 30. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna say I got enough respect for KD, and they're gonna be at home to say, all right, if they do this to this nigga for a third game in a row, I mean, that's just all time great as far as a defense, or that's just all time bad for because from what I heard, from what we've been hearing for KD's whole career, ain't no defense for Kevin Durant. That's what we've been hearing. He too tall. He can shoot from anywhere. He handles the ball like a point guard. He got handled. He got all this shit, man. Boston is making him look like a motherfucking JV player right now, bro. On some real shit. Like, he looks bad. So I'm gonna say KD gonna find a way to snap out of it, and he gonna give us a 30 burger. You know what I mean? Tomorrow. Not saying they're gonna win. I don't know if they're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not guaranteeing they're gonna win. That's one, you know what I mean? Me and my neighbor also got a bet that Boston is gonna win a series. Boston gonna win this series. I'm not saying it's over. It's still not over. I would not be surprised at all if somehow the Nets find a way to come back and win this series. But I just don't think that's gonna happen. So, it wouldn't, like I said, it's not going to surprise me if it does, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, as far as them winning the game tomorrow, I don't know. I'm not saying whether they're going to win or lose, but if somebody wanted to make me a friendly wager, $50 or something like that KD would score 30, I'll take that bet. I would say KD going for 30. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say that, but that's, like I said, I won't be surprised if it don't happen. But yeah, so that's a lot that I just said about just the Warriors and the Celtics Nets series. Um, but yeah, um, Suns Pelicans. That's gonna be interesting now going forward. At first, that was a series where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it because it's the playoffs, but just to see just what may happen, it's a possibility. You know what I mean? That some things should happen or whatever, and that's exactly what happened now. But now I'm gonna be really tuned in because I want to see. I got stake in all this shit because I'm a Warriors fan, and I'm trying to see us get our 4th championship with this in this era, and um the biggest roadblock to us, for me, is the Phoenix Suns. So yeah, I want to see if they good enough to get out of this series. And I do think they're going to get out of the series even without Devin Booker. But it's not just do they get out of the series, how do they look getting out of the series without Devin Booker? And how much of a chunk is it going to take out of him? Because, this hamstring shit, that's not something that's just going you're going to sit out for 2 or 3 games and it's just going to go away. That shit don't linger. In order for it to fully heal, you got to sit out for a while, bro. You know what I mean? You might want to, to let that shit heal all the way. You might want to have to sit out a month. At this time of year, you can't afford to sit out a month if you Devin Booker. And if so, you're not going to win a championship. You're just not. So, even though I said earlier in this live that I feel like Chris Paul is the best player on that team, I'm not saying that it's by a wide margin. I just feel like, he's the one that brought the winning culture to Phoenix. So to me, that says who's the best player on the team. But still, even with that being said, Phoenix Suns are not winning the title without Devin Booker. So even if they get out of this series, depending on how they look, it will tell me how hard it's going to be for us to beat them. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like I said, if Devin Booker, cause this gonna linger, bro. And just as I just got through saying about bitch ass LeBron James and how he wanted Draymond Green to be out so that can give him a better opportunity of coming back in that 2016 finals and winning it. Essentially, he wanted somebody to get hurt. It's no different than wanting somebody to get hurt so that way you can win. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want Devin Booker to be hurt. I want that nigga to be healthy than a motherfucker. I'm just saying, in the event that he, with this type of hamstring injury, if he's not able to just really chill out off this shit because they talking about he out games 3 and 4. Just being out games 3 and 4 it's not going to go away. He gonna need to be out games 3 and 4. He gonna probably need to be out for 2-3 weeks, and that's at the least. You know what I'm saying? Just to let this motherfucker heal. So I'm just saying that the facts are that if Devin Booker is not either there or fully healthy, it's going to be easier for us to beat them. That's just the facts. I'm not saying that's what I want to happen. I'm just saying that's what the facts are. I want them to be healthy as fuck. Because I don't want no excuses. Really, to be honest with you, I don't, if he's not healthy and we win, I don't give a fuck about the excuse. I used to be like, man, I don't give a fuck because it's a part. Attrition and being able to stay healthy, that's a part of it. A part of the journey. Whoever can stay the healthiest and all that shit throughout the course of the year, that's a part of it. It's not, oh, well, this person was hurt, so it don't count. No. That's what happens when you do stuff physical, when you play a physical sport. There's a chance that you could get hurt. Whoever is able to withstand the battle of attrition and all that throughout the course of the year, the entire year, including the playoffs, they have a better chance at winning. So this just is what it is. If somebody get hurt, they get hurt, nigga. I mean, that don't mean, they got hurt, so, all right, this shit ain't gonna count. So, well, they got hurt, so, cancel the rest of the season then. Because this motherfucker got hurt. That ain't the way it go, bro. So, if he's not healthy and that happens to be a factor in us beating them in a series, so fucking be it, nigga. I mean, it is what it is. If one of our key players was hurt, they ain't gonna be like, oh man, we forfeit. We don't want to play. We don't want to go on to the finals because Draymond is hurt, or Steph is hurt, or Clay is hurt. Nah, they gonna play the game and they still trying to get to the motherfucking finals and win it. So that's just what that is. So all the, that's getting hurt and being able to stay healthy that's all a part of winning the championship. You know what I mean? That's a part of it. It's just like making baskets, playing good defense, and all that shit. It's just, it's you can't go into it like, well, if this motherfucker is, because that goes for every fucking team, bro. That goes for every fucking team. If all 30 teams in the NBA, if one of their top 2 or 3 players gets hurt, I'll just keep it at top 2. If your best player, your second best player out of those 2 players, if one of them gets hurt and has to be out for a significant time, your team is not going to be as good. They may be able to withstand for a little bit, but it's not as good as a team. It's just not. So that's just a part of it, man. But the Pelicans Sun series is now intriguing for me to watch now because it's a little bit more balanced now. You know what I mean? Let's see what the Pelicans, they stole home court. So let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I would put my money on the Suns still winning this series, even though they ain't got Devin Booker. But I'm eager to see what's gonna happen. So let's see what happens. Memphis and Minnesota. To me, I ain't got no dog in that fight or nothing like that, but it just, bro, I just feel like they give players and teams too much before they actually do. That's the one thing I like about on ESPN's First Take. They got Doggy Russo on there on Wednesdays going back and forth with Stephen A. He keep it old school a lot. He said a lot of shit from the old school. So he gonna give credit to a lot of the older players from the 60s, 70s, and 80s and all that shit. But he's a lot of times with your OG-ness comes truthness and realism, and he spews a lot of truthness up there. And one of the things that I like that he be saying that I've always agreed with, because I grew up in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, you had to win championships and be like a motherfucker now come out and have one good year and they act like this motherfucker going to the Hall of Fame. So, and how that, to me, relates to the Memphis Grizzlies and Ja Morant is that it's like, bro, you know what I mean? Like I said, like Doggy Russo, he always, they talking about all of these teams, and he like, bro, what have they done? Just because a motherfucker had one good regular season, and that goes to Memphis. Okay, you had a good year this year. A good regular season. Dog, the playoffs is different. You seeing that. Just in the first 2 games. The playoffs is different. Everybody want to make a big deal off of the fact that they won by damn near 30 in game 2 when they beat Minnesota. But bro, I'm gonna be 100% honest from what I seen from that game. That game for me was more about Minnesota did not come out. They didn't play with the same intensity, energy, and effort that they played in game 1. They just didn't. And I think, and it's because they're a young team in the playoffs. They're not really they're learning that in the playoffs you got to come out every game and play it like it's a game 7, bro. You know what I mean? And I think when they got game 1, they were satisfied. They got the split. We took home court advantage. So Memphis did what they were supposed to do in game 2 and win. They won in convincing fashion, as the game started to go on. But to me, that game was closer than the final score, bro. Like, yeah, the second half it got out of hand, but the first 2 quarters of that game, bro, in the first half, there was a few times where Minnesota could have really took control of that game. They just couldn't get over the hump and get the lead. They would get it down to 1, 2 points and maybe tied up. They just didn't get over the hump and take the lead. And I think it's more of because of the fact that the fact that Minnesota didn't play with the same energy level that they played in game 1. I think it's more of that than, Memphis righted their wrongs and now they showed that they're the team that they've been all year because they beat them by 30. No, that game was there for the taking within, in the first half. You know what I'm saying? And you could see that Minnesota, they just didn't didn't play. They didn't bring that same energy, bro. They just didn't. So now, to me, I think Memphis has the best player in that series. Okay. But I think the teams are pretty evenly matched, bro. You know what I'm saying? The teams are pretty evenly matched. I know, Memphis had a better record by, maybe like 9 games or something like that. But, I think Memphis won like, 57, 58 games or something like that, 56, 57, 58. And Minnesota won like 45, 46, 47, something like that. So, but to me, when I see, and then on top of that, the season series was tied 2-2. So I do believe that the teams are more evenly matched than one would think, than what their records would say. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's what it's about in the NBA. Sometimes throughout the course of a regular season, you may show to be a better team record-wise than another team. But that team that you better than and have a better record than, they may be a bad matchup for you. You know what I'm saying? And I just think Minnesota matches up good with Memphis, and I think that Minnesota is going to come out their first playoff game at home and they're going to they're going to bring that same intensity and energy that they brought in game 1. I'm not guaranteeing they're going to win the game. I want to see how game 3 is going to go. You know what I'm saying? I want to see how game 3 is going to go. You know what I'm saying? But I do see this series going at least 6 games, at least, regardless of whoever wins, probably a 6 or 7 game series. But I'm rooting for Minnesota to win, and it's because, like I started off, I feel like the media and some fans, like, they giving these motherfuckers too much, bro, and it's like they haven't proven nothing. And Ja Morant be out here, they be out, and it's all good. Have confidence in yourself, self-confidence, all that shit. But they talk too much for a team that ain't did shit yet. And I understand sometimes you gotta have that bravado, you gotta have this, man, look, the Warriors start doing all they talking and all they shit after they won a championship. En route to it, they was steadfast, focused. Like, Memphis is acting like they arrived. The Warriors, when they was coming up in that 2014-15 season, they wasn't acting like they arrived. They had their head down and they was just doing what they had to do and establishing themselves as a championship team. Memphis' attitude comes across like, oh, we one of them teams. Y'all not, bro. Y'all got to prove it in the playoffs. There's been many teams that have had won 60 games in the regular season. They ain't did a motherfucking thing in the playoffs. Some of them Atlanta Hawks teams of the early 2010s come to mind. One of them years they had the best record in the league. They won like 60 games. and got to the playoffs and got swept by LeBron James and the Miami Heat. So, you know, I'm thinking about some of those Houston Rockets teams, even when Tracy McGrady was there. They had some good teams. What about that team, that motherfucking Dallas Mavericks team in 2006 or 7 that got beat by the We Believe Warriors? They had the MVP, Dirk Nowitzki, and they won 67 games that year. You know what I'm saying? And lost in the first round in embarrassing fashion. So I'm just saying, just because you won a whole bunch of games throughout the regular season, y'all, you know, so to me, I'm rooting for them to lose because I want them to get a good case of this motherfucking humble pie. After the game 1 loss, Ja Morant gonna post a motherfucking the part of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls Last Dance documentary when he was holding the bat and he had a cigar in his hand and he was like, you know, because this was they was in a series against the Charlotte Hornets, and his former teammate BJ Armstrong, that's who I got my name from, BJ Armstrong and the Charlotte Hornets had won game 1. You know what I mean? And BJ was talking shit and this and that, and before game 2, they showed Michael Jordan like with a cigar, tightening up on the bat. Like, it's easy to talk all that shit after, you know, when you up. But now that we starting over and the score is 0-0, now let's see what you do. This nigga, Ja Morant, gonna post a picture of Michael Jordan with his head on Michael Jordan's body, like he's saying that. Like, bro, I like what Shannon Sharp said. Like, nigga, y'all the ones that be talking all the shit. Now all of a sudden, because the Minnesota Timberwolves won the first game and they was talking a little bit after the game, now you can't take it. You dish it out, you got to take it. So to me, it's a bit of an arrogance there. And even after the game, when they won game 2, yeah, there was a lot of people, you know, that was on this side, and they switched over to the other side. Stay over there. After we lost game 1, they switched to the other side. Yeah, stay over there now. You know what I'm saying? We don't want y'all back over here. Bro, what you showing is that you more focused on what people are, like, you want everybody to favor y'all and have y'all as the favorites and say all these good things about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you gotta understand. Motherfuckers is gonna waffle. And it's not that they gonna waffle, they gonna go off of what you show them. Y'all did all of this shit throughout the whole year, making it look like y'all got the second best record in the entire NBA. In the entire NBA, y'all got the second best record. And then you get to the playoffs when it's time to show and prove, and that had to be in the play-in to even get to the, and y'all do that against them. And then you wonder why a motherfucker would be scratching their head like, oh, well, maybe Memphis thing. I mean, y'all, the reason why, Morant, because your ass didn't get it done in game 1, and you in the series, boy, is because the fact that, what I was just saying, the reason why it's easy for people to go back and forth and kind of waffle on y'all is because y'all ain't never proved nothing. Y'all ain't never proved nothing. You have not done anything to earn no type of cliche for a motherfucker to be like, oh, well, man, they lost game 1. But yeah, now, motherfuckers still saying that they think y'all gonna probably win the series, but just because they saying that it might be closer, y'all are not overwhelmingly better than them. Like, you want motherfucker to just be like, yeah, for sure, they gonna win. Nah, nigga, y'all have not proven, y'all ain't been through no fire yet. This is y'all fire right here to show that y'all able to go down 0-1 and go through a little adversity and come back and win the series. This is your chance to do it. So, and not only that, they talk a lot of shit to us, the Golden State Warriors, who are, like I said, you young, you brash, you playing well, so you think you've arrived. And you think we passed our time. See, these motherfuckers forget, yeah, we didn't have a few little injuries, but Steph, Clay, and Drake, they ain't no fucking old ass men. Steph, the oldest one, okay, he just turned 34. Clay and Steph, Clay and Dre is either, if I'm not mistaken, either 32 and 31 or 31 and 30. Like, these motherfuckers got another 3, 4, 5 years, bro, of contending for a championship, bro. Like, this not, so, and on top of that, we've done it before and we've proven it, my nigga. So, we deserve a little bit more respect from you young punks, okay? And that's the whole thing about it. They talking about they want the Warriors. Yeah, we want it. Oh. And another thing is, like, for one, like I said, our big three, it may seem like they're a little older than what they is because they've been doing it for a little while now. We forget they won their first championship in 2015. They've been playing together for 10 years now. Okay, so it just seems like that because they've been winning for so long, they've been playing together for so long, but they started winning young. When they won that first championship, Steph was 26. You know what I mean? Draymond and Clay was, 24 and 23 and shit when they won their first championship, or 22 and 23, whatever. So they started winning young. So, like, these niggas is still in their prime. It may be the back end, but it's still their prime. They still in it. They not over the hill. You know what I'm saying? And you can see that by how they playing. So the Warriors ain't going nowhere. Okay? Now, but the Grizzlies, they y'all talk, you talking about you want the Warriors. Bro, we got championship pedigree, bro. We know how this thing's supposed to go. We know how to do this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't never done nothing. So, you know what I mean? Worry about Minnesota, you know what I mean, first. You got your hands full with them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my thing with Memphis and Ja Morant. You know what I mean? They act and talk like they've been doing this. You know what I mean? Y'all haven't done nothing. Y'all have done absolutely nothing. So you better win this series. If you don't win this series, you gonna come in the net. They gonna talk bad about y'all. And you don't like what they saying after game one. You don't win this series, boy. You gonna hear it all summer. Yeah, I don't mean you ain't still a great player. Ja Morant is a great young player on his way up. But bro, it's levels to this. Okay, yeah, he's a great player. He's dynamic. You know what I mean? He kind of reminds me as a cross in between if Allen Iverson and Russell Westbrook had a baby, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But you have to show that will win. Just what they saying about Ja Morant, they were saying this shit about Russell Westbrook when he was doing his thing over there in OKC. They were saying the same shit. The same shit. He, MVP candidate and this and that, and he gonna be, contending for a championship. They were saying the exact same shit that they saying about Ja Morant right now, about Russell Westbrook when he was OKC at the top of his game doing his thing. Now what they saying? And I don't think Russell Westbrook didn't just completely fell off the map. I'm just saying, I think he's still a good player overall. You know what I mean? Still can't shoot and shit. But I'm saying, be careful of crowning a motherfucker this and that because they had a good regular season and shit. Because what matters is what you do in the playoffs. That's how you create your legend. So, yeah, I'm rooting for Minnesota. Let's go, Cat. Let's go, D'Angelo Russell. You know what I mean? Let's go, Anthony Edwards. You know what I mean? The only thing why I won't be surprised if Minnesota don't win though is because they just young, bro. So they don't, they're gonna have their lulls where they just not bringing that energy, or if they get up in the series, they're gonna get comfortable. And like, I won't be surprised if they win game 3 at home and then lose game 4 at home, just because they young. You know what I'm saying? And they understand the urgency, but they don't fully understand the urgency. You get more urgent the older you get, and the more and more your career go on, and the more and more failures you done had. Where they at right now, they so young, it's like, man, shit, we're going to be back here next year, and the year after that, and the year after, you know what I mean? Like, that type of shit. So, but yeah, I'm rooting for Minnesota. Let's go, Minnesota. You know what I mean? Because I want Ja Morant. I want the Memphis Grizzlies and Ja Morant in particular and you know, Corey Dillon and them niggas. I want them niggas to have to eat a big pan slice of this motherfucking humble pie. Cause y'all niggas talking like y'all niggas done won 3-4 championships, nigga. Like y'all deserve that kind of respect. You don't deserve shit. You gotta earn that shit, and you ain't earned shit, motherfucker. You ain't earned a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see. Pelicans, Suns, talked about that. Warriors, Nuggets. I mean, I didn't talk about the Warriors, but I mean, you know, hey. And just like I said about the Celtics and the Nets, essentially, all we've done is really protect home court. You know, who knows? They may go back and win both games. It's tied up 2-2. You know, but at least we are in control of the series, for sure. Total control of the series. And game 3 tonight. And yeah. So I see us winning this series in 5. We're gonna get one of these games in Denver. We just is. We're gonna get one of these games in Denver. Don't know whether it's gonna be game 3 or game 4, but I think we're gonna get one of these games in Denver, go back, close it out game 5. If we win tonight, we might sweep them. But shit, we can win tonight and then lose game 4. You never know. But 4 or 5 games, it's either gonna be a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. That's my prediction. I put any type of money on it. So ain't really nothing to talk about in that series. I'm ready to get to the second round. But don't want to look too far ahead. We still gotta, you still gotta win 2 more games. So series ain't over. Warriors, Nuggets, Pelicans, Suns, Memphis, Minnesota, and then Utah and Utah against Utah against Dallas. I ain't really watching that one. You know, Utah, I mean, they should be up 2-0. They let Brunson go for 41. Man, Luka Doncic ain't even playing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Utah, they not doing nothing. In Dallas, it's kind of the same thing, like Booker. Like, this injury is going to linger for Luka. You know what I'm saying? This will linger. And that's just what it's gonna be. So, you know, I don't really got too much to say about that series. It ain't, you know, I'm not really even tripping up that series like that. Yeah, I'm not even tripping off that series like that because it's not really entertaining or interesting at all. You know, it's not an interesting series at all. So, I want to say Dallas gonna win because I don't believe in Utah, but yeah, I want to say Dallas gonna win because I don't believe in Utah, but I'm just not sure who's gonna win that series. If Dallas was at full strength, I would say, you know, and what's his face? Luka wasn't hampered. I would pick Dallas for sure. But with him being hampered, and even if he come back, he's still not gonna be at full strength. You know, I feel like I just don't know. what's going to happen. So, and then in the East, I already talked about Celtics, Nets, Philly, Toronto. Philly up 3-0. That series over. Toronto, they just don't got enough talent. I'm still not a believer in Philly, but they better than Toronto at this point. I got to piss. Yeah, man, I've been on this trip for 2 hours, cuz. Hold on. I'm over here taking a piss, man. Like I was damn near getting ready to pee on myself, boy. Fucking Snax on Sportz. Oh, man. Yeah, though, man. Utah and Dallas. I'm not. That's a boring series, but yeah. Oh, yeah. So Philly, and I'm not a believer in Philly to get past the second round. I just James Harden. And I might be wrong. Who knows? I might be wrong, but I'm not even though Philly is up 3-0, they just still seem like they could be had. You know what I mean? Like they not, you know, I feel like they was a better team, you know, when they had Ben Simmons and Seth Curry and you know what I mean? I think really if the on some real shit, I think if the Minnesota, if the Philadelphia 76ers were able to keep Jimmy Butler that year when they had him, because that's the year when they lost, and I think it was the second or third round to the Toronto Raptors, when Kawhi Leonard hit that shot from the baseline in Game 7 and it bounced all around the rim like 5 or 6 times before it went in, which is a crushing way to end your season. That's why Joel Embiid bitch ass was crying. It was crushing, but I wouldn't have been crying like no little bitch. But nah. You know, if they would have found a way to keep Jimmy Butler, I think that would have been their best bet. Because I think that was their best iteration of this team. Yeah, they didn't ultimately get through that year, but I think, man, if they would have just kept the toughness of Jimmy Butler, okay, along with if shit would have never went bad with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is one of the best defenders in the league. Okay, and he's a playmaker, can pass the ball, you know, on some Magic Johnson kind of shit. Along with Embiid, who's one of the best players in the league, and then have yo surround them with, you know, with your shooters on the perimeter like Seth Curry, and I think one year they even had JJ Redick. Like if they was able to keep that team together, that's probably a team that could have came out the East. But, yeah, Philly, I'm not a believer in Philly. You know, it's great for them if they up 3-0, but they should be up 3-0. You know what I'm saying? They're a better team than Toronto. So yeah, that's that on that end. But Who else over there? Celtics, Nets, talked about that. Philly, Toronto. Milwaukee and Chicago. So I do believe Milwaukee will win this series, but if they don't stop playing, then they're going to put themselves in a situation where they could possibly lose, because Milwaukee is a better team than Chicago. But like I said, when I first started this live 2 hours ago, when I was just giving my little intro spiel, Milwaukee has played good this year, but they haven't played, I think, overall to the level that they played last year, especially in the playoffs. And they just it's like they either complacent with winning the championship, that's how they played this year, or they're just not as good as a team as they were. Like, still good, but not, so right now, or or they're a team that feels like Chris Broussard said this morning, they're just, with knowing what it takes to win a championship now, they just kind of treat the regular season like, yeah, we just gonna play good enough to get good seeding and just be a good team, and then we'll turn it up in the playoffs. But in these first 2 games, they won the first one and then they lost yesterday, but even in the game they won, they still seem like they still playing at that same regular season level. So I just want to see if these niggas is able to, shake that shit and turn it on and look like the championship team that they was last year. But I think Chicago, and DeMar DeRozan did his thing. He been doing this thing the whole year, man. But yeah, I think Milwaukee should ultimately win this series. You know what I mean? And I ultimately think they will. And then Miami and Atlanta. Yeah, Miami is just a better team than Miami is just a better team than Atlanta. And so going forward, I mean, it would be, if everything goes how I'm predicting that it's gonna go, you're gonna have in the second round in the East, Miami versus Philly and Boston versus Milwaukee. That Boston-Milwaukee series is going to be something to see. And also, Miami and Philly will be. And so if it goes like that, then I think Miami is going to beat Philly to go on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And then I think out of the East, whoever wins that Boston-Milwaukee series is the team that's going to the finals. Because I feel like both of those teams can beat Miami. So that's where I'm at with that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, in the West, I'm what I want it to be. You know what I mean?